What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the JuiceBox, presented by LockCity. Hope you guys are all having a great start to the week, and today we'll have episode number 126 of the JuiceBox with an outlook into the Tuesday MLB slate. But before we get into it, just a reminder that you can join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/LockCity. For only $5 per month, this gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sports-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. That's wap.com/LockCity. Get instant access for only 16 cents a day. All right, let's get into it. First game of the day, we have the Mets at the Orioles. We have Clay Holmes versus Brandon Young. The Orioles come into this one winning 3 in a row. Mets come into this one winners of 4 of their last 5. Brandon Young 0-3 with a 7.02 ERA. He hasn't not been good. He's gone 4 innings in like every start. He's given up 3 runs, 4 runs, 3 and 3. So this should be a good spot here for the Mets bats to continue doing what they did versus the Yankees. Their bats have been hitting pretty well. They lost the last one, but they scored 4. They scored 12. They scored 6. So they're seeing the ball well right now. On the other hand, Clay Holmes, He's 8-4, 2.99 ERA. He's been better on the road this year as well. On the road, he has a 2.79 ERA, and he's got pretty good BVP numbers versus the Orioles. From when he was with the Yankees and his time as a reliever. I think my favorite bet here would just be the Mets on the money line at -136. Next up, we have the Rays at the Tigers. Ryan Pepiot versus Jack Flaherty. I think my favorite bet in this one would be Pepiot over 5.5 strikeouts. You can get that at -105. But Pepiot, he just faced this Tigers team. It wasn't Tampa, but he got 7 strikeouts. And on the year, he's got a much better strikeout rate versus lefties than righties. To be exact, he's got over 30% K rate versus lefties. Versus righties, it's only like 22%. So the Tigers are probably going to stack a bunch of lefties here, probably get about 6 of them in this lineup. I like this spot here for Pepiot to get 6 strikeouts. That's -105 on DraftKings. Next up, we have the Mariners at the Yankees. Logan Gilbert versus Will Warren. Logan Gilbert, 2-2, 3.4 ERA. On the road this year, he's got a 6 ERA, but little context. One of the games was the Cubs, where it was like 95 and hurricane force winds blowing out. He let up 4. He also let up 4 at Texas, but I had a decent start versus Toronto, but he didn't make it through 5. So he has struggled on the road this year. And the Yankees bats have been hitting pretty well lately. They've scored 6, 6, 5, 5, and 9 in their last 5 games. On the other hand, Will Warren, 5-4, 5.02 ERA. but he's got a 3.35 ERA at home, much better at home. Recent home starts, he shut out the A's through 5. He did get hit up a little by LA and Boston, but he shut out the Rangers. He had a good outing versus the Giants, Arizona, and Tampa. I think that I would lean Yankees in this spot here. I like the way their bats have been hitting, and I think Will Warren's in a good spot here. I think he can rack up some strikeouts versus this Mariners lineup that they're not really hitting that well at all. I know that they've won 4 of 5, but they scored 1, 6, 2, and 3. So in 3 of their last 5, they scored 2 or fewer runs. I like the Yankees, and I think this is a good spot here for Will Warren. Next up, we have the Rockies at the Red Sox. Kyle Freeland versus Brian Bayo. I would probably just play the Red Sox -1.5 here. The Red Sox have been crushing lefties lately. They put up 4 on Gomber, 4 on Ogasara, 4 on Mitchell Parker, 3 on Eric Lauer. They got to Robbie Ray, Carlos Rodon, twice, Yarborough, Kikuchi. I think they'll have no problem getting to Freeland here. On the other hand, Brian Bayo, 4-3, 3.42 ERA. He's coming off a decent start, 5 innings, 2 earned runs versus the Reds. I think if he gives us anything similar to that type of performance, I think we're in a good spot. I think the Red Sox can put up a bunch of runs in this one. So yeah, I would play the Red Sox -1.5. You can get that at -120. Next up, we have the Marlins at the Reds. Yuri Perez versus Nick Martinez. The Reds come into this one here. They just lost last night to the Marlins, and I think I like the Marlins again here. Nick Martinez, he's 6-8 with a 4.2 ERA. I think that the Marlins bats can get to him. They've been hitting a lot better on the road this year. And I think Yuri Perez can build off of his last start. He went 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, and 7 Ks versus the Twins. It's his best start by far since coming back. And I think he can build on that here. The Reds lineup has not been doing much lately. In the last 3 games, they scored 1, 1, and 1. So their bats are pretty cold. I think Yuri Perez can have a pretty big game here. I would lean the Marlins on the money line at +104. I also don't mind Yuri Perez over 5.5 strikeouts. That is -110 as well. Next up, we have the Blue Jays versus the White Sox. Chris Bassett versus Aaron Savali. The Blue Jays, they're like the hottest team in the league right now. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. Facing the White Sox and Aaron Savali, I think this is another great spot here for the Blue Jays. I play them at -1.5 as well. Bassett has struggled on the road with a 6.38 ERA, but he dominated this White Sox lineup earlier this year. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. I don't see why he doesn't have another at least solid outing here. Versus the White Sox. Savali, on the other hand, he pitched okay versus the Dodgers. 5 runs, but only 2 earned. But he faced Toronto earlier this year. He gave up 5 earned runs. I think we see something similar to that again. Favorite bet is the White Sox, or the Blue Jays on the run line. Next up, we have the Cubs at the Twins, Shota Imanaga versus Simeon Woods Richardson. The Cubs come into this one. They're playing good. They've won 4 of their last 5. Twins have also won 3 of their last 5. Imanaga on the year, 5-5, 2.78 ERA. But he's been lights out on the road, 0.98 ERA. He shut out the Cardinals on the road, and he only let up 2 earned runs versus the Brewers, shut out the Pirates, shut out the Padres, and only let up 1 earned run versus the Diamondbacks. So he's been elite on the road. And I think he's got a nice matchup here versus the Twins. Let's pull up how the Twins have fared versus lefties lately. Yeah, lately the Twins have not really done much versus lefties. Tarek Skubal, 7 shutout. Quintana, 6 shutout. Lodolo, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Abbott, 5 2/3, 1 earned run. Brandon Walter, 1 earned run. Only 2 off Colton Gordon. Chris Bubich, 1 earned. Noah Cameron, 1 earned run. Yeah, they haven't done anything versus lefties since Cade Povich back in May. I think Shota has a nice bounce back start here. And on the other hand, Simeon Woods Richardson, he's been really good recently, but I don't trust him versus this Cubs team. The Cubs have absolutely been crushing righties. And I think they can get to Woods Richardson as well. They got 3 off Fetty, 8 off Michaelis, 5 off Bybee, 4 off Gavin Williams, 8 off McCullers. Palante, they got 2. They got 7 off of Fetty, 5 off McGreevy, 4 on Logan Gilbert, 9 on Hancock, 4 on Kirby, 3 on Peralta, 4 on Chad Patrick. So you get it. They've been putting up 3 or 4 runs versus just about anyone. I don't see why they can't do that to Woods Richardson here. I would take the Cubs on the money line at -145. Next up, we have the Dodgers at the Brewers. Clayton Kershaw versus Jacob Mizorowski. The Dodgers are really slumping in this one. Coming into this one here, they've lost 4 in a row, and I think the Brewers can get to Kershaw here. Lately, the Brewers versus lefties have been they've been hitting really well. They got 6 runs on Freeland, 7 off Heaney. They got 5 on Andrew Abbott. They crushed Luzardo for 12. The only ones they didn't get to was Chris Sale, Ranger Suarez, and Kershaw. He's not those guys, so I think the Brewers get to him. On the other hand, I think Mizorowski can pitch okay. He's probably not going to go more than 5 innings, and I trust the Brewers bullpen to hold it down after 5. I would play the Brewers on the money line here at +105. Next up, we have the Pirates and the Royals. This is where we will find our JuiceBox lock of the day. So moving on, we have the Nationals at the Cardinals. Jake Irvin versus Sonny Gray. The Nationals just fired their coach and their GM. Now they go on the road here to face the Cardinals. Jake Irvin, 5.79 ERA on the road. Last few road starts have not been that great either. On the other hand, Sonny Gray, he's been really good at home this year, 2.76 ERA. I think that he can hold down this net. I think he can hold down the Nats here. I would just lean the Cardinals, but moving on, we have the Guardians at the Astros. Joey Cantillo versus Hunter Brown. I think Hunter Brown is going to shove here. I think my favorite bet in this one's going to be Hunter Brown over 7.5 strikeouts at plus 125. Guardians just broke their 10-game losing streak, but I don't really have hope for them here today. Hunter Brown, 9-3, 1.82 ERA, a 1.01 ERA at home. I think he can shut down this lineup. There's no one outside of Jose Ramirez to really worry about. And on the other hand, I think that the Astros can get to Cantillo here. Versus lefties, they've been all right. Freeland, they got 3 off of him. They were able to hit up J.P. Sears, Logan Allen. They got to Bubic and Gomber. So I think they can get to Cantillo here. I like the Astros, and I like Hunter Brown's strikeouts. Next up, we have the Rangers at the Angels. Jose Soriano versus Nathan Eovaldi. I think I would just go right back to I think that I think I would play the Rangers on the money line here at minus 120. Soriano does not have good numbers versus the Rangers. They're betting 394 off of him and 33 at bats. He saw them earlier this year, let up 10 hits, 3 earned runs. And on the other hand, Eovaldi, I think he's back. He went 5 innings in his last game, got up to 72 pitches, no earned runs. I wouldn't be shocked if he got to 85, potentially 90 pitches here, but I think he can shut down this Angels lineup. He's been lights out pretty much every start. He's 5-3 with 1.75 ERA. So my favorite bet here would just be to back Eovaldi and the Rangers at minus 120 on the money line. Next up, we have the Diamondbacks at the Padres. Merrill Kelly versus Nick Pivetta. I like the Padres in this one, and I also like Nick Pivetta over 5.5 strikeouts. Next up, we have the Phillies at the Giants. Taijuan Walker versus Robbie Ray. The Giants pulled this one out yesterday. Robbie Ray is coming off of a complete game versus the Diamondbacks. He faced the Phillies earlier this year, and they hit him up, but it was on the road. He let up 4 runs in 4 innings. I do think this is a spot where it would be tough to back the Giants as minus 160 favorites here. That if anything, if I played anything in this game, I'd probably play the Phillies on the money line here at plus 130. I know Taijuan Walker is on the bump. He's not that great, but I think it's going to be more so a bullpen game. Last few outings for Walker, he hasn't gone really more than 2 innings, so he gets through the lineup one time, and they switch over to the bullpen. And this Giants lineup is nothing to be worried about, so I'll play the Phillies on the money line at plus 130. And the final game of the night, we have the Braves at the Athletics. Didier Fuentes versus Jeffrey Springs. I would just play the A's on the money line here. Fuentes has been horrible. He's 0-2 with a 9 ERA. Now he's coming into one of the smallest parks in baseball. I think the A's can hit him up here. And on the other hand, Jeffrey Springs is a lefty, and the Braves have not been able to hit lefties to save their life. Trevor Rogers, 6 2/3, no earned runs. Tyler Anderson, 6 shutout. Ranger Suarez, 7 and 1 earned. Jesus Luzardo, only 2 earned runs. They haven't done anything versus lefties since, like, they faced Mitchell Parker back in May. So I like Jeffrey Springs to pitch well here, and I like the A's on the money line. But going back to the Pirates and Royals, we are going to take the under 8. It's minus 102 on FanDuel right now. But the Royals are the worst home lineup in baseball. And they faced Mitch Keller today, who's been really good lately. And also has been decent on the road, 3.16 ERA on the road, but he's been in top form lately. 7 shutout versus the Cardinals, only 1 earned run versus the Mets. He held down Texas. I think he can hold down this Royals lineup. And let me pull up what they've done recently. At home versus righties has not been pretty. They got Shane Baz went 8 shutout versus them. Rasmussen 5 shutout. Taj Bradley 6 2/3 shutout. Severino 7 2/3 1 earned run. Will Warren shutout. Clark Schmidt shutout. Cater Montero shutout. They only got to Dustin May's the only righty they've gotten to at home since May. So I like Mitch Keller here. The Royals are gonna throw a ton of righties at him. Righties are only hitting 209 versus Mitch Keller this year, so I think that the Royals are gonna have trouble scoring runs. And on the other hand, we got Seth Lugo versus the Pirates. Really don't need to say too much about the Pirates here. They're also one of the worst lineups in baseball, and they haven't been hitting at all lately. Their last 5 games, they've scored 3, 0, 0, 0, and 5. So in their last 4 games, they've scored a combined 3 runs. Lugo, he's been in top form lately. 2.42 ERA at home. And his recent home starts, he shut out the Dodgers through 5 2/3. He shut out the Yankees through 5 2/3. I think he'll have no issue here with the Pirates lineup. And we get to. I don't mind getting to back the Royals bullpen as well. They're one of the best in the league this year. So let's lock that in. Pirates, Royals, under 8. It's minus 102 on FanDuel. Let's cash, and we'll see you all again here tomorrow. Peace.